Was Zenos a good character? You know, the tall, handsome, muscular, masculine. No, not that Zenos. This Zenos. You know, the combat sexual psychotic prince of the Garlean Empire with a little too much junk in the trunk. He lives for one thing and one thing only, to hunt for the strongest prey. And that prey would happen to be you, the warrior of light. Some people may love him, others may hate him. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to analyze Zenos as a character and his significance in the story of Final Fantasy XIV in order to answer the question, was Zenos a good character? Before we get into the video, we gotta go over the backstory of Zenos in order to better understand his motivations and goals. And obviously, this video will be subjective. It will also have spoilers for Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker, so you have been warned. Zenos was born into the royal bloodline of none other than Emperor Varus Zulus Galvus. Because Zenos was the heir to the throne of the Garlean Empire, he expected to learn everything that his predecessors knew. This meant that growing up as a child, Zenos was taught all manner of subjects by numerous tutors, from book studies to combat training. He was a young prodigy in every field, but he had found very little joy in any of them. Save for one: combat. The sliver of joy that Zenos found in life was through mortal combat. He first discovered this excitement when he was training with his combat instructor. See, this wasn't any normal combat instructor tasked with training the royal heir. This instructor was a swordsman from the continent of Ilsebard, which the Garleans have conquered most of. This instructor was captured and forced to teach Zenos his technique of the unyielding blade because his family was being held hostage. Understandably, the Ilsebardian instructor harbored a deep resentment towards Emperor Varus for this, and by proxy, he hated Zenos as well. He held this resentment for a while until one day the instructor attempted to kill Zenos during training. Unfortunately for the instructor, Zenos already had a good mastery over his fighting technique and killed the instructor instead. After Zenos had slain his instructor, he felt empty. He wanted more. The only person who posed the challenge to him was gone, and Zenos desperately wanted to feel the ecstasy of fighting within an inch of his life again. Years later, he would lead the efforts of subjugating Doma and Alamigo, and that's where we would meet him in Stormblood. So now what? Was that backstory supposed to make him a good character or something? Is probably what some of you were thinking. And to that question, well, no. The backstory is meant to show where he got his goal in life. So now let's talk about what Zenos represents in the story. When we first meet Zenos in Stormblood, he was a force to be reckoned with, being powerful enough to beat Lys, Y'shtola, and us single-handedly with little effort. Zenos was supposed to be a character that rivaled ours in terms of strength, or in other words, our equal. In Endwalker, the writers doubled down on this idea of Zenos being our rival. But what I find interesting is how they use his simple nature of wanting to find the strongest opponent to fight to contrast the overall narrative of Endwalker. You see, the story of Endwalker made it very obvious that the theme was about not giving in to despair and forging on no matter what. We can clearly see this through the actions of the signs throughout the story. But what we don't see clearly is Zenos displaying the exact same thing, albeit in his own twisted way. He follows his heart's desires no matter what people say, sacrificing everything he has in order to chase it. He killed his father, causing the downfall of the Garlean Empire, gave part of his humanity away for demonic power, and set in motion the final days, just so he could fight us. Every decision he made was met with harsh resistance and ire. He's done this so many times that he's made an enemy out of everyone. The Eorzeans hate him, the Domans hate him, even his own people hate him. Everybody hates Zenos, understandably so because he's evil, but not on the side of evil. Hell, he even followed us to the edge of the universe in order to fight the literal destroyer of worlds with us, just so he could have another match with us. If that isn't true love, then I don't know what is. Normally anybody would fall into despair with the knowledge that nobody likes them and that the world would be better off without them. But Zenos doesn't care, as he still moves forward, forging his own path. Is he psychotic? Yes, but he's exceedingly tenacious, just like us. Now let's analyze a bit deeper into Endwalker's story. During the Alpus arc in Endwalker, we meet two characters, Hermes and Medeon. Most of our time was spent with them, as they both go through a character arc where they both try to discover the greater meaning of life itself, leading to Hermes sending Medion's sisters to every world they could find, searching every corner of the universe for that answer. In the end, they couldn't find that answer, nor could anyone give them an answer, and thus fell into despair. What they didn't know was that there was one person who had that answer, Zenos. He's had the answer all this time, underlined in bold in italics. He's been saying it out loud on top of the highest mountain, yelling to the heavens as loud as he can until his lungs gave out. And his answer? There is no greater purpose. Life is what you make of it. Volunteering at a local homeless shelter, working grueling shifts to come home and see the smiles on a loved one's face, going to the same coffee shop and ordering the exact same drink every time because you know that they'll get your order just right. It's about the little things that keep us going. And for Zenos, that little thing is finding the best fight. Zenos serves as the answer to Hermes' question, and he was right in front of our faces the whole time. All in all, Zenos' only purpose in life was to relish in the thrill of the hunt, sacrificing everything that he had and burning every bridge. Despite everyone vehemently being against him, he still walks down his own path. And that's because Zenos is meant to be the opposite reflection of us, the Warrior of Light. The Warrior of Light would be like Zenos if we didn't have any morals. At the end of Endwalker, Zenos gives a speech calling us adventurer at the end of it.
But there is more to you than that. You know this to be true. As surely as you know the thrill of pushing your body and soul to their limits. Of confronting ever mightier foes, dancing ever closer to the precipice, wondering if this will be the one to finally fill the void. Such pleasures you seek for their own sake, and no other reason. Is this not so, adventurer? Ha! Acceptance! At long last! The conflagration of our clash will scorch even the stars!
And he's right. At the end of the day, we log on to go on adventures, spending hours doing the smallest things because we find them fun. Just like how Zenos finds fighting fun. So, to answer the question of the video, is Zenos a good character? I would say no, he's not a good character. He's a fantastic character. Hey, it's me again. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Did you agree with me or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more video essays like this, and see you next time.